Hello everybody, welcome back. So in today's video, this lady gave her boyfriend of 3 years an ultimatum that if he doesn't marry her, she was going to move to a different state, and it backfired on her. Take a look.
After I gave him the ultimatum, he just looked at me in my face and was like, if you feel like you need to move, move. And so we went through 3 months of like chicken, where I had no friends in Vegas, no family in Vegas. I just really blurted that out. I did not mean it. I had no intention. I had no job. I had nothing. I had no plans on moving to Vegas. I thought I was going to force this man to propose to me. For 3 months, he was like, do what you got to do. You want to move, move. So the last day I was putting my stuff in the car, he came over and helped me put my stuff in the car, and we putting stuff in the trunk, and I just started crying. I'm like, you really gonna let me leave? He looked at me and he said, have a safe trip.
Now, this is giving that Twitter thread where the guys couldn't break up with their girlfriends and they were expecting their girlfriends to, leave them, but they didn't have the balls to break up with them. And it's also giving you auditioned for me, but I didn't like your audition, so next, okay? And it's also giving, I used you to occupy my time, okay? But if you're looking for marriage, you want a guy to put a ring on your finger, you want to walk down the aisle, please, there's no need for you to be moving in with guys. Because to him, you're already married. He knows everything that you can do already, okay? And I know some of you will come for me, how would you know? How would you, even if he's married? And she wanted marriage. When you go on dates, you need to be negotiating these things for yourself. Stop thinking about them, think about you. But anyway, let's get into the video.
After I gave him the ultimatum, he just looked at me in my face and was like, if you feel like you need to move.
So the babies in real life and on social media always get at me because I say within 6 months, intentions should be made in terms of relationships. Go back and look at this video. This is why she was with this man for 3 years. 3 years! Boyfriend and girlfriend, and she don't look like no young spring chicken. She's probably not as old as me, but she's at least in her 30s. 3 years. He played with her for 3 more months and then helped her pack and leave. You wasn't his wife, but you was sitting there probably doing that. He's giving me, I don't know, but he's giving me 50-50 vibes. You sitting there being his roommate. You was his roommate. Now he gonna go find another one. No, y'all.
He looked at me and he said, have a safe trip.
You're gonna end up with one of those shut up rings everybody keeps talking about, where a man just does it just to shut you up. You don't want a shut up ring. You don't want a ring that you've had to beg or plead or guilt trip or manipulate out of a man. I think sometimes we underestimate as women how long a man will stay in a relationship where he is unhappy. A couple could be married for 20 years and they've both been unhappy for 19 and he'll still act surprised that she left. A man will stay in a relationship for any number of reasons and none of them have to be love. He could like that you cook and clean, how well you cook and clean. He might like what you do with him intimately in the bedroom. His mama likes you. His family and friends like you. All his homeboys think you're attractive and think he's lucky to be with you. He hasn't found your replacement yet. It could be any number of reasons that don't even have anything to do with him loving you and wanting to be with you for the rest of his life. Don't think his presence alone means he really wants to be there.
Jason was like, if you feel like you need to move.
Ladies, I'm going to say this as straight to the point and simply as possible. If you are dating a man for 2+ years and that man has not proposed to you or at least brought up marriage in some kind of way, that man is not going to. See, we're men. We're easy. Most of the time we know if we want to marry somebody within a year. Most of the time it's within 6 months. And if you're a really wonderful woman, we'll know within a month if we want to marry you. So if you're dating a man for 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, waiting for him to propose, simply put, he's already told you exactly how he feels about you by not doing it. I would say the only exception would be if y'all have discussed it and it was planned in some sort of way, alright? Like y'all are waiting for some school, something to finish, or some military deployment or something like that to finish to get married and start your family. Something like that, okay, fine, completely wait. But if he has not given you reason to wait besides you're just sitting there being a placeholder, and it is just as much your fault as it is his. Because why are you waiting on somebody to decide what they want? That man already knows what he wants. He's just waiting for it to come along. And you're not it. This lady in this video literally said, after 3 years of marriage, you're gonna marry me or I'm gonna move to Vegas. That man not only told her be safe and he hoped she travels well, he came over and helped her pack. And she burst out in tears crying, saying, do you not want to marry me? No, he doesn't. He's willing to let you leave. Now, does that mean the man doesn't love her? No. But is he in love with her? No. He's not. Because he's willing to let that woman walk away. Any man that is secure in himself and any man that has an understanding of what he wants will not force somebody else to want what he wants either. We're simple. If you're sitting around waiting for a proposal, you're going to be waiting for a long time. Men know within 6 months.
It was like, if you feel like you need to move, move.
Let's tap in. Let's do a quick breakdown and then we're going to have a conversation about this. This young lady basically moves to Vegas to be with her boyfriend or whatever she would call him. And while they're together in the midst of an argument, she blurts out, not purposely, not meaning to, an ultimatum to have this man propose to her within a certain time frame. And then they start playing chicken for the next 3 months. And this man ends up going to her place, helping her move her things in the car. She has an emotional breakdown in front of him and say, you really gonna let me leave? And he like, yeah, have a good day. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna always tell people this. You trying to give people ultimatums into forcing them into marrying you is never going to be a win for you. It's never going to be a W for you. Because what ends up happening is this. That other person is going to grow resentment towards you. That person is not going to like you. That person is going to ultimately cheat on you or do wrong by you or give you the bare minimum within that marriage or relationship that you will be happy, but you won't be happy. You know what I'm saying? You're not even happy. You'll be like content. That's the right word to use. But you would never be that type of married person where it's like my man, my husband, my husband, my husband, my husband. You're never going to be that. You're going to just say, okay, he's my husband. I know he loved me, but ain't nothing more to that. I tell people this. Y'all got to have very clear conversations before entering relationships with people and knowing and giving people timelines of what you want. And if they tell you before you guys enter a relationship that that's not going to work for them, cut it off right then and there, keep it pushing. And if that timeline starts to approach and get closer and that person starts to not show the behavior conducive to them doing what you want them to do, you don't got to say anything. You just got to leave. You know what I'm saying? If you gave that person 2 years and within that 2 years it's becoming like, you know what I'm saying, 1 year and 8 months and this person hasn't made any movement towards going to proposal or marriage or anything serious, you guys haven't even moved in together or whatever, you don't got to say anything. You can just start leaving and disconnecting and doing what you got to do for you. That's what I look at it as.
I mean it.
When I say I felt this, oh my God, I so fucking felt that. Because I used to do that. Back in the day, I used to make ultimatums to men. You know, you're either going to be with me or we're not going to be together. I had to realize that that's a hold all from my pick me side. The pick me in me wanted to be picked. And even after I was in a relationship, it didn't feel like it was enough. It still needed to be more. I needed to be picked further. I needed to have a ring put on my finger. I needed to have a partner that was committed to me. And I realize now I couldn't have any of those things because I wasn't committed to me. I wasn't choosing me. I was waiting for someone else to do it. And one of the hardest parts about this breakup has been knowing that I'm making the right decision. It's still hurting anyway, but me having to be uncomfortable and sit in that in order for this to work. I could have just easily jumped back into it after all the love bombing, but I didn't. I needed to continue because I realized that this is not the person I'm meant to spend the rest of my life with because I can't be authentically me in that relationship. And a lot of us are in holding patterns in our relationships, waiting for our partner to realize that we're the person for them. And here's the thing. If they ain't seen it by now, they ain't gonna see it. If they don't actually see that you're the person that they want to spend the rest of their lives with, you're not that person. Oh, just give me a couple more months. Oh, just give me a couple more years is code for It ain't ever gonna fucking happen. Now, that's an 80% of the time thing. Yes, there is a 20% where guys are like, ooh, she's the one, I realize. But it's very rare. And in those cases, those women meant to leave. It wasn't a threat. It was an actual walkout. And those men had to show and prove how much they loved the woman that they wanted to be with. That is not the case the majority of the time. The majority of the time, we're convenient. We're here. We're not going anywhere. We're not making any waves. We're not forcing them to do anything. And they're okay with that. And then the minute that it starts to become uncomfortable, they leave. Know the difference between somebody who's in your life for a season or a reason. Because those are the lessons that you need to learn in order to love yourself more so that you are capable of finding a better partner down the road. That's my TED Talk. I'm going to go back to cleaning my kitchen. Bye!
Men don't date for potential. Women will date your potential. I'm going to repeat again. Men, we don't date for potential. Women do date for potential. So women will believe in our potential. And they believe that one day we'll finally become the man that we always talked about being. And then they realize that we won't become the men that we talked about, but they're already 2 to 3 children in. See, a woman will join a man, grind with a man to believe that they have a common goal. But when they realize this man doesn't have vision, the respect, she loses for you. Brother, this is the chaos. This is the stress between man and woman.
You give the ultimatum before you enter a relationship with a guy. Because in the relationship, in the marriage that you're looking for, it's going to be you and him in the marriage. It's not just about him. It's about both of you. This woman thought that moving in with the guy and showing him what she was capable of, what she could do, was going to secure her marriage. But she forgets that there are some men out there who use women, okay? They know that they are not ready for marriage. And they know the kind of women that they want. They know they are not in the financial frame to enter a committed relationship. But they will waste your time. You need to be looking out for yourself while you're dating, while you're in the relationship with these guys, okay? You need to write down everything that you want. And if he's not ticking your boxes, you stand on business. You leave it there. Hey, I'm not looking for eventually. I want to be certain that you want marriage. Then we can continue talking. Then I can start to get to know you. If you're not looking for marriage, I'm not interested. Okay? I'm not interested. I'm looking for someone who is ready for a committed adult relationship. I'm not here to play games. I'm not going to play house with you. I'm too grown for all of that. So if you want a relationship that is leading into marriage, then we can have this conversation. Don't be afraid to speak up for yourself, to advocate for yourself, to stand on business for yourself. Don't go in there with that conditioning that you need to show a man like you can cook, you can clean, you are hardworking, and how you can take care of him and wash his clothes. No. Walk into that relationship looking out for yourself. But anyway, let me know about what you think of all of this in the comment section. And bear in mind, this is not for you girls who are not looking for marriages, relationships, and all of that. And you've completely dissented men. You are not about men. This is not for you. This is for the women who want committed adult relationships. Okay, because we need to talk about all of that. Okay, but anyhow, let me know about what you think of all of this in the comment section. I'll see you tomorrow with another video. Take care of yourselves. Bye.